Hello there, it's Austin from Minitab. What a few people have asked me over the last few days is how do I go about deploying Minitab 20, regardless of whether that's an evaluation or whether that is a purchased license of Minitab. Effectively, the process is exactly the same in either case. What will happen is when you've requested a subscription, or if you're the first person who's ordered a license as a paying for customer, then you will get an email message not dissimilar to this one. This is your call to action. You've purchased a license. Please go and start using it. So you can either type in the web address or you double click on here and this will take you to our website so you can log in to the website. You do need, of course, to have a Minitab account. So if you do not have one, you will need to create one. In my case, so I've already got one existing. So I'm going to put my credentials in here. And this is going to take me to my Minitab account management page. Now, the piece of that page that I'm interested in for using Minitab is this piece here, My Products, Minitab Statistical Software. So I click on there and I come to this page where I can do three things at this point. One is to download a desktop application. So there's a good chance that you will want to install that. That is the easiest way of getting a hold of the desktop application of Minitab 20. You do, of course, need to have admin rights in order to be able to install that successfully. You've got another icon over here, which will allow you to open the web application, and that will take you straight into the web version of Minitab 20. The third option, which is interesting for people, particularly who've purchased licenses perhaps and have a number of users to manage, is the Manage button. So if I click over here, this particular example I've got here is a named user subscription with a quota for 2 users. So I'm allowed to have 2 active users of Minitab within this particular license of Minitab. Currently, there's one person. This is myself, the person who has ordered this license. And if I have a look at the roles I've got at the moment, because I'm the person who set this up, I'm the license administrator and I'm also the first user. When I want to add another user to this, I click on Add Users. There are options in here to bulk add people if you've got a number of people within your deployment, but I'm just going to do one and I'm going to add my colleague Donna. And I'm going to give her a role, which is going to be user. So I don't want her to be able to administer licenses, but I want her to be able to use Minitab. So if I then click on Add Users, you can see Donna is now added to the portal and she will get a similar email to the one that I had before, where I was invited to use Minitab. Because it's a 2 user or a user quota of 2 in this particular ecosystem, if I try to add a third person, say for instance, so if I go back to the Add Users button and I try to add another person, so let me pick on my colleague Habiba this time. I'm going to try and add her as a user. You will see very shortly a message popping up in red saying that there's not a seat available for her effectively. So there you can see, to add more users, you must increase your user quota. So I can't add her because there's no seat existing at the moment. So there's a couple of options here. One is that I can add more users, in which case please talk to your Minitab contact and they'll be able to provide an additional license for you. The other option is to manage the people within the subscription. So it may be that actually Donna does not need access to Minitab, but it could be that she just wants to be able to administer people who've got a license. So in that case, I can actually set her up as a license administrator instead of a user. So it doesn't look like a great deal has happened, but if I actually get to show the people who are set up as a user, you can now see from that user quota of 2, there's only one person set up as a user. So there's now a license available that I can allocate to Habiba, for instance. So just to prove that works, let's click on Add Users again and add Habiba again. And I can make her a user, or I could also make her an administrator if I wanted. Add users. And when the screen finishes refreshing, what you'll see is I've got a quota of 2 people available within this license who can be users, but I've got 3 people listed, and that is because 2 of them are users and 1 of them is just there as an administrator. So we just wait for that to finish updating. So you see there's 3 people in there, but of those people, my 2 users will be shown on screen in a moment. So that's myself and Habiba are now users, but Donna is set up as a license administrator. And really, it's that easy. I suppose the other thing you might be interested in while we are showing this is, what if I need to free a license up for somebody else to use? So it may be Habiba no longer needs access to this. So I can click on options and I can either update the rules, so I could deselect her as being a user of Minitab, or actually the quickest way might be, well, she does not need to do anything at the moment. I can just go into options and I can remove her from the subscription. That license is gone, and now that license is free for me to allocate to somebody else. I hope you found this useful, and if you've got any questions, I'd be pleased to hear from you, or always reach out to our technical support team. Thank you.